Okay, guys, today is an exciting day. Dolores, my tough love alter ego, is here today. She's here. She is ready to lovingly shake you and remind you the past is done and dead. So we gotta stop obsessing about life events that have already happened and get over it. Get to the other side. Let's rewind for a second. Things that have happened in your past are 100% valid. You were bullied in school. Your ex was abusive. Your teacher said you never amount to anything. Your mom is a narcissist. Your boss was toxic. You grew up poor. Oh, honey, we get it. We hear you. At some point, you gotta move on. You know, I know it's hard, but you gotta move on. Whatever circumstances have happened in your life trigger emotions. It's the sadness we feel when we go through a breakup, a job loss, the anger we feel when we're treated poorly, the disappointment we feel when we fail. This is what we call clean pain. These emotions are 100% valid and must be processed. Here's where it gets a little tricky. In one of his books, I don't remember which one, Eckhart Tolle talks about how ducks, after conflict, flap their wings to release the energy of that heightened experience, swim off as if nothing happened. But as humans, once we flap our wings, once the clean pain is processed, the initial sadness, disappointment, anger, frustration that we feel, we have a tendency to attach to our old stories weeks, months, years, and even decades after the fact. So instead of just keep swimming, we swim in circles. A story you cling to or are clinging to will be built on whatever limiting beliefs you adopted from a particular event in your life. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out for me. Bad things happen to me. I'm always broke. Your story might also feed on resentment and blame. My ex gaslit me. My boss is so toxic. My mom abandoned me. It's this broken record you play on repeat that then becomes a part of your identity, who you think you are in relation to the world. And before you know it, you've painted a portrait of someone who's essentially a victim to their past. Listen, sweetie, bad things happen to everyone. It sucks. It sucks. And then life goes on. I want to be really clear. What has happened in your life is never in question. The real question is, how are you thinking about it today? Because that is very much in your control and is your responsibility to clean up. A person in my orbit is struggling to move on from the drama of a former relationship. You know, he's still talking about his ex to both his therapist and his friends. And recently he said to me, well, I think it's important to understand why something happened, trying to understand why that relationship and breakup happened. And this is the point I want to make. If the past were actually the problem, then his ex would be stuck too. And she's not. She moved out. She moved on. She remarried. She is thriving. It's not the past that's keeping you stuck. It's your relationship to the past. If you believe you need to fully understand, make sense of, or somehow get closure before you can move on, you're going to stay stuck in it, possibly forever. The past isn't alive. What happened 5 minutes ago, 30 seconds ago is already gone. So how do people keep the past alive? 1, by replaying it over and over again in their minds. 2, by working through it in personal growth spaces like therapy, retelling the same story, trying to make sense of it. And 3, by constantly bringing it up in conversations, telling friends about it, or inserting themselves into situations just to talk about it. Like, you've probably had a friend or family member who's told the same story like 45 times, and you're just sitting there, oh my God, this again, Jesus Christ, I need a cocktail. Years ago, I had a client come onto a consult call who said to me, I'm so tired of hearing myself talk about this. That's a profound moment. At some point, you have to be willing to let go of the old narrative, the one you're tired of replaying and everyone else is sick of hearing. If your past is still haunting you, it's only because you haven't fully cut the umbilical cord. I also want to say this. If you struggle to mentally and emotionally let go of your old stories, then trying to do it through introspective tools alone can feel damn near impossible, because your thoughts and feelings are your comfort zone. So trying to override your past with things like therapy, journaling, or self-reflection, it's just not going to cut it, at least not on their own. If you really want to purge your past once and for all, you've got to get out of your head and into action. And this is what I refer to as soul searchers do. 1, tell your story one final time and commit to never telling it again to yourself or to anybody else. Drop the sob anthem love, it's overplayed. 2, physically declutter anything you don't love today or that no longer serves a purpose. Tossing those old journals filled with your sad stories. Purging clothes that represent the version of you from that old job, the past relationship, that toxic environment, whatever it is. Let go of anything that feels like a physical reminder of who you used to be, who you no longer want to be. Letting go of the past does not have to be this slow and painful journey. It can be quick, like ripping off a band-aid. You don't need to spend years or decades dwelling on things that no longer matter. Life is tough, sweetie, but so are you. The past is dead. Dwelling becomes a comfort zone because it saves you from doing the hard thing. And what's the hard thing? The hard thing is choosing to never talk about that experience again, never rehashing it, letting go of the physical reminders tied to it. That's the real work, because once you release the story, you're left with a void. Who am I without this? That's where real growth begins. Onward and upward. At the end of the day, it can only help those who want to be helped, ones who are ready to do the hard thing. If you want to keep sitting in therapy with your journal, all that introspective stuff, totally your choice. But if you're ready to actually move the needle, let's do it. I'll link ways to work with me below this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who you think needs to hear it, and I will see you all next Wednesday.